It's me again. Okay, so check the last video where I'm talking about this new conversation that's going on in the system between the archetypes of the masculine and the feminine, as we are in rebirth here in the physical. As within, so without, there is a rebirth going on at an archetypal level, which I'm really interested in. I'm super excited about. It's going to change our relationships for sure. It's going to change how we manifest in the world using our inner feminine and masculine. And I want to make that clear. I'm not reading for men and I'm not reading for women. I'm reading for the feminine, receptive, passive, creatrix energy, and for the masculine, action, creativity. Just noticing I'm leaving out some of the archetypal labels for the masculine. So let there be a gap there. This could go off in any direction. So let's ask the masculine to show us how he's feeling. Too much. Let's invite the masculine archetype in, that's better. Okay. You can't make it up, can you? Oh, wow. Forgive me. I'm just moving into a lovely pause here. So, studying the cosmos like I do as an eternal student, what I've been studying are some really grand conjunctions that are going on that will last until 24, 23, 24. And what they're going to do is move us into harmony. So at a personal level, that's going to be harmonizing the masculine and the feminine within. And at a collective level, that's going to appear in relationships. If we're balanced within, then we're balanced without. So what the masculine, the first message that the masculine is bringing in here feels like willingness is the word I'm getting. Willingness to accept harmony. So when the masculine, tune into your body as I pull these cards. There's movement in my heart chakra here. So when we accept harmony, what do you think is going to happen to the old paradigm? We're going to move out of conflict. Conflict is the opposition of harmony. Right, wrong, good, bad, acceptable, unacceptable, appropriate, inappropriate. Acceptance, harmony. I get a strong essence of violet flame with this card as well, which is all about healing. Cool, wow. What a beautiful card. What a beautiful message. Okay, so welcome the masculine. Welcome, welcome. So we start with the acceptance of harmony. And what's supporting him in that Feels very feminine. Okay, that's really interesting. So what I'm noticing, again, you'll hear me say that word a lot. Noticing isn't knowing. Okay. To get into harmony with myself, I just have to accept. So when I tuned into this card, it was almost like a different chakra opened up just to the left of my heart chakra, this side. And tuning into this energy, an equal and opposite energy, it's not equal, it's gentler, it's much softer, opens up to the right of my heart chakra. Now that's interesting. So what's supporting him is a balancing energy. 7 is a very alchemical number. It's about pulling new light into the body. And do you remember the cards that we started with? This is the last reading. Check the last reading because these 3 are going to run together. Pulling the light into the body. True north. And fusing it in the material. Okay, what you want wants you. I'm not going to get distracted by those. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, so these are coming off the bottom of the deck. So the masculine is being supported by this softer feminine. And he's being supported in the energy of, because until we do that within ourselves, we cannot move into that. Okay. So what's that going to look like? Well, that's going to look like shadow work, how to meet the shadow within the self and surrender to it and bring love to it and bring acceptance to it rather than reject it. Yeah, great reminder. I think if you go back 2 videos, I used the phrase toxic positivity. Since I've used that phrase has come back to me 3 times. Okay. Toxic positivity will prevent surrender and acceptance of your true north. If your true north is that within you is still some imposter energy that behaves tricksy, manipulative, controlling, that's part of you. How do you surrender to that? Within the masculine, that could be a big field of conflict for him to move into surrender with. And look at this feminine energy coming in. Dreamer, the dove of peace. So this tree energy, contemplation. Remember that 7 I talked about, the magical 7? 7 of angels? Alchemy. Can't make this up. Okay, so they're the supporting cards. Surrender, dream, contemplate, alchemize. That in itself is a creative process, but it's done through the feminine. That's how the feminine creates. So this really is a wow. I'm blown away by this. So he's wanting to embody more of his feminine. He's wanting to create through the softer process of inner contemplation and dreaming, right? Receptive. This is fascinating. Okay. So how do you feel about this project, masculine? do you feel about this space that's opening up for you to surrender and to dream and to contemplate? Quiet. There's a real hesitancy with the cards. It's like, ew. So what he's showing me in these 3 cards is his first big conflict. Okay. So we have abundance, breakthrough. I get the world really strongly with this. So this would be the world card in a tarot deck. Turning the wheel. Wheel of fortune, the wheel of fortune. Abundance, breakthrough. Hoarding. It's Wall Street. It's Wall Street. So I'm noticing there's a fire building in my chest. And it's kind of a blend of rage and passion. For what I've had to do, that's the message. For what I've had to do. The creation of false abundance through the hoarding of material possessions, excessive possessions that have defined me as something meaningful or meaningless. So it looks like the breakthrough point is the realization of what real abundance is. No, it's not, is it? It's not the realization. It's the potential for, is this something different? So the previous video is called Creating from the Void. He can't bring the past to the present. That is not what that truly is. And he knows that. So he's turning the wheel. He's in breakthrough with it. A big how. But how do I get there? From there, okay? So remember, without context. So let the how go. Be with what is. What is now is there's a breakthrough point in the collective masculine archetype that's showing him the conflict between material hoarding and abundance. So he's looking at that. Okay, so he's looking at that. So that was a how are you feeling about this? How are you feeling about this project? Abundance, breakthrough, and hoarding. And where might you have resistance to the breakthrough of this abundance hoarding program? Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh God. Oh, I feel sick. This is so patriarchal. That's like a poison. Okay. Resistance to is in this architect and the romance of abundance. Oh God. Do you know, it feels as blunt as she'll love me if I show her the flash car, if I move her into the condo, if I buy her diamonds. It's old king energy. I feel really sick. What have I got left if I don't have that? That's what I'm hearing. But what have I got left if I don't have that? If I haven't got my 10 of stars to offer the feminine, how can I be in that relationship? What's the underlying card? Gosh. How can I be in that relationship where you grow? 4 is about building structure, new structures. 4 of trees, and here we have the feminine again. What can that be? It's creating from the feminine principle again. That sickness is turning to nervousness now. It's turning to nervousness now. I feel quite shaky inside, but there's something solid being uncovered. Again, tune into your body. What's the nervousness? What is the nervousness? Sweet. It's that I can't take care of her. So the illusion of all that, of man as kind of hunter-gatherer, protector, provider, is being dismantled. And if he isn't hunter-gatherer, protector, provider, who is he? What can he offer? Stripped bare are the words that I'm hearing, stripped bare. What's the underlying energy for this one? Doesn't resonate. So I'm going to ask the masculine to talk to me about vulnerability. So if I say vulnerability, what does that make you think of, masculine? Vulnerability. Oh. Oh. Okay. Woohoo! It's the vulnerability around change and rebirth. So his resistance is that he's no longer protector, custodian. His vulnerability is the release, the change. We had this card, didn't we, a couple of readings ago? The multi-dimensional self, the death and birth, that serpent energy, healer energy. 13, divinely feminine number. This is the death. There is no death without rebirth. 10, rebirth. culmination. She's lying on the water. Water represents emotion. Look at the serpent energy running through the water and healing. And she's covered in vines. That's the culmination of the feminine within the masculine. That's his vulnerability. Is to surrender to the feminine within him. Can't make this up. It's the sacred union of masculine and feminine within. That's what he's vulnerable about. Okay, and the other cards that popped out. This is a different energy. Bear with me, there's no bridge here. So we're still with the vulnerability. Show me the segue into these two cards, please. Show me the segue into these two cards so I can see. What do you want to happen here? Is that the question? No, show me the segue. Bear with me, because I'm pulling straight from the void here. Wow. So after the vulnerability comes the depression. I want to talk briefly about depression, because you're going to feel some kind of way about that. Depression has been commoditized, hasn't it? And it's been sold as a misalignment, as an illness, as a mental dis-ease. And there is a beautiful quote from Lao Tzu, I believe, which is, if you are depressed, you're living in the past. If you are anxious, you're living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the now. And so, faced with the sacred union of bringing his feminine, surrendering to his inner feminine, well, he might want to feel some kind of way about what happened in the past. He might want to feel some kind of way about how he's behaved within the culture that we live in. I call depression pearl diving. It's when I do a soul journey. It's when you'll have heard me talk about kissing Hades hard on the mouth. That's when I dive down with the devil, because there's a pearl, I've got to find it. And it's a crushing process to go down to the bottom of the ocean. It's not depression, it's revelation. That's what's inside of me. Okay, so depression, about receiving. This speaks into worthiness. He's nervous. The sacred masculine is nervous about, am I good enough? Am I worthy enough to receive this femininity within myself, to create through my inner feminine? Okay. And what's supporting those energies? The depression about receiving is explore it. We had this card as well, didn't we? 2 readings ago. He was already speaking. Okay. So on your path, which is within, there is a light which is within, which you access through the dark of depression. And when you surrender to that light, to more of your beautiful self, you come into your north node, your true north. And what these 2 cards tell me loud and clear, this is movement, surge. So when we go and drop into the seat of the soul, drop into our magical, mystical, dark, black self, which has been demonized, of course, because that would be too much creative energy in the world, wouldn't it? Too many geniuses, too many loving creatrixes. We release energy and power as the light comes in. I think he wants to be an adventurer, but he's constrained by the protocols of society, by what a man should be. I just keep hearing man up. Ugh, such a toxic phrase. Man up, what does that even mean? He wants to be an adventurer. He wants to have an adventure. And within the human body, I can identify with this. 2020 had us in hermit energy, didn't it, for so long, just shining a light on that part of the path. Not the full part. The hermit carries a lantern and it just shines a little bit of light, doesn't show you the whole thing. And you step forward, step by step of revelation and insight and inspiration. On his terms. Adventure on his terms, without having to defer to any societal rules, regulations, obligations, responsibilities, all that heavy stuff. Okay, bear with me. So I'm going to keep the first 2 cards. I'm going to shuffle these back into the deck. And I'm going to move to start wrapping this chat up. Yeah, okay. So the last question I'm going to ask is, what's going to help him the most right now? So, masculine, as you move through these huge changes, what's going to help you the most right now? What's going to help you the most right now? Okay. Staying loyal to the objective. Feminine. Feminine. Loyal to the feminine. This is a completely different energy to I want to protect her. Well, she might not need protecting. So that renders you null and void if that's your only purpose, you know? Yeah, I noticed I kind of spat purpose out there. Purpose is another big distraction in the world. So he wants to stay loyal to becoming a balanced, harmonized, masculine, feminine. It's another union card. When we can fall in love with ourselves, we have embodied both archetypes and brought them together into sacred union. Do that work and change the world. You'll change the world. Do that work and you move into expansion. No stopping you. No stopping you. I'm blown away by this. I'm blown away by this. What shall I call this? And look what's on the bottom of the deck. Alchemist. This is about divine union. He wants divine union. He's going to put himself through hell to get there. He wants to accept the harmonization of the feminine and the masculine within him. That's awesome. That's awesome. He's come a long journey, the masculine, creating in the wrong way. So this is a total rebirth for the inner masculine. Okay. So I'm just being guided to bring that right down into the physical and postulate what that might look like in the individual. That might look like resisting a big letting go energy. That might look like resistance to acceptance of your shadow self, your shadow masculine, because it's in us all. That might look like rebellion, anger, rage. It might even trigger some angry feminine energy to come out. So when you feel that energy, know that you're in the conflict of the balance. You're at the sharp end of harmonizing those two energies within yourself. Okay. What a beautiful conversation. I want to say thank you to the archetype of the masculine for coming to talk to us today. So honestly. Amazing, amazing. That's it for the masculine. The next video will be the feminine. Let's see what she has to say. And I love you guys. Please like, share, subscribe, and have a great day. Have a great week. Have a great life. I'm gone. Back soon.